Alright guys, just 10 more days. 10 more goddamn days and this fucking election will be over and decided with, and we don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. You know, I'm trying to figure out what I find more disturbing. The crazy things that come out of people's mouths on both sides of the aisle, both sides of the political spectrum are full of shit, or a man who has to dress up as a bat and pummel criminals in the dead of night. I don't know. I have to weigh that. I will say this about the man in the costume. He won't compromise his integrity for political expediency, so he's got that going for him. In any event, today we're going to be taking a look at the Hot Toys exclusive 1/6 scale Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Batman figure. Let's take a closer look. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit it, guys. When I first saw the concept photos of this figure in Comic-Con 2016, I have to admit, I was not impressed at all. As a matter of fact, I even considered skipping this figure because it looked that bad. Also, Hot Toys got some blowback from the fans, but it looks like they listened and made several alterations to the suit to make it not only look more movie accurate, but less like somebody was wearing a giant set of PJs. And this is the end result, and I have to say, it's pretty impressive. Now, one of the reasons that I really like this Batman is because, first of all, he scared the shit out of me in the movie. He looked like a goddamn gorilla, and that's one of the reasons that I really like this suit. It's inspired, at least in some part, by a silverback gorilla, and man does it really show. The cowl here looks amazing, and the likeness to Ben Affleck, especially his infamous chin, looks fantastic. I especially like the detail in his brow, and the overall illusion is very menacing. As I mentioned before, the armor on this figure was initially very loose, and it looked like somebody was wearing PJs that were just oversized. But due in part to the large feedback that Hot Toys got from the fans, they've actually added a little more musculature, which is similar to what we see in the film, and the result looks absolutely fantastic. The musculature shows through the skin, especially where you see the Batman logo on his chest. Looks great. You also see some pretty great detail through the suit in the abs. There's also very subtle details like he's been scuffed up by a knife fight. It just looks great. Now, you don't really get that much detail in the movie as to what the utility belt looks like, and thankfully Hot Toys really emphasized what this belt really looks like, at least conceptually, and I have to say it's pretty impressive. Not only does it look very realistic, but it's also very utilitarian in that it's something that someone might actually wear if they're going to be crime fighting. There's excellent detail, there's a lot of wear and tear on the belt, and the overall illusion is perfect. I like it a lot. Now, one of my personal favorite things about this figure is definitely in his gauntlets, what I like to call the Popeye look. Essentially, it's kind of a throwback to the Arkham games where they look very bulky, and I have to say it's pretty impressive. The other thing I like about it is definitely in his gloves, especially in those knuckles. Those brass knuckles look like they can punch through anything. I like the subtle detail, and that color, that kind of gold color, looks freaking great. Again, you don't really get to see them in great detail because the movie is a little bit dark, but the boots here look amazing. They're definitely a different type or a different style than we're accustomed to. Actually, you know, when I look at them, they kind of look like cowboy boots, and they're very impressive, especially those gold-tipped steel toes. They look like they can kick the crap out of anybody, and if you remember from the film, when he busts into that warehouse and takes out those goons, I'm sure those things really hurt. Now, with every iteration of the Hot Toys Batman figure, the main criticism or complaint has definitely been in the cape. They just haven't been made that well. But I think they finally learned their lesson because this cape is amazing. The folds are great, the material doesn't seem cheap, and I especially like the detail at the bottom. That muddy look looks spectacular. Now, most people in the past have bought third-party capes by the now multi-talented Tony May, but in this particular case, I don't think it's necessary because it looks great as is. Just like with all Hot Toys figures, this does come with a crotch grabber. However, this one's a little bit different than the two-prong system. What I do like about it is that it's very adjustable, and it varies by where you want to have the figure. The stand here is also pretty great, very minimalistic, but similar to the Superman figure, it does have the Batman vs Superman logo. And again, it looks fantastic, and you can actually hang it by itself if you want it to be some kind of pop art. The great thing about this figure too, and the stand what comes with it, is that it actually pops up, and I'm really becoming a fan of these things. The lip of the base is also impressive as always. Just like the Superman figure, it does read Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, and the official title for this figure, which is Batman. I love that silver plate, it just makes it look more elegant. Now here's the thing guys, I would have been content just reviewing the normal figure, but thankfully the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles sent me the exclusive edition, which comes with the high-tech cowl and the sniper rifle, and I gotta tell you, this cowl is amazing. It's definitely worth it just to get this thing. I mean, it looks great. Just take a look at the detail there. I love that the actual cowl is covered in this kind of carbon fiber type of metallic look. It looks amazing, especially the wiring that wraps around it. Guys, normally when you get Sideshow exclusives, they only give you one exclusive little extra, but here they give you two, and it's so worth it. When I look at this sniper rifle, it instantly reminds me of either Quiet or Sniper Wolf. Take a look at this, and here's the great thing about this sniper rifle. That bipod is completely functional and it's spring loaded. How awesome is that? The stock is done really well, the scope is amazing, especially the trigger. I mean, overall, this is absolutely worth it. So guys, if you want this figure, I highly recommend the exclusive version. This is how you know we're a couple days away from Halloween, because with this figure, the treats keep on coming. I think this is the most accessories I've ever seen in a Batman figure. You get 6 hands for multiple poses and multiple functions. You also get 4 batarangs and an endless supply of grapples and various other accessories. You get the grapple gun, and you remember that scene in the movie where he actually brands one of the bad guys? You also get that as well, which is really cool. It also comes with 2 grenades and the infamous kryptonite grenade gun, which is freaking awesome. So guys, in terms of accessories, yeah, this bad boy is loaded up. Now, in case that wasn't enough to satisfy your Halloween sweet tooth, this figure also comes with 2 additional eye sets and 2 additional faceplates. One of them is grinning really hard, exposing those wonderfully sculpted teeth, and the other one has a slight smirk on his face. Either way, they're both expertly sculpted. They also provide you with a tool so that you can add and remove these pieces, so it's not such a pain in the ass all the time. Overall, there is tremendous value here. Even though I wasn't initially impressed with this figure, after all the feedback and some of the changes that Hot Toys eventually made, I have to say this is a must-own for anybody who's a real big fan of Batman. And if you're gonna get this figure, I definitely recommend getting the exclusive version, especially for the high-tech cowl and that beautiful sniper rifle. Now before I go, I just gotta give a real special shout out to the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles for sending the exclusive version of this figure over for review. Alright guys, so that's my official review on the Hot Toys exclusive 1/6 scale Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Batman figure. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.